Welcome to this week's episode of The Art of Authenticity. I'm back. So, I thought I'd do a quick episode to explain what's been going on. Why did I soulfully have a last episode and what's the intention around coming back and doing more? So first of all, if you're listening, thank you so much for sticking it out and for coming back and to hear about what's going on. I really appreciate it. And yeah, it's been a really interesting couple years. All I can say is this. I started the art of authenticity with a couple goals in mind. One was I was deeply, deeply curious around this question of what it meant to live an authentic life. I was in that conversation with myself. What does it feel like to live from deeper within myself as opposed to the conversations in my mind that were suggesting, I don't know, a different path to be more successful or that there was something missing in my life. And that feeling of something missing wasn't an easy thing for me to wrap my mind around. So I had to go into this deeper, more authentic space to answer what's true for me. What do I want? Why am I here? What's the meaning of my life? And yes, in a level, it's like a classic sort of midlife crisis question, but it's also this, I think, this very deep, burning curiosity most of us have. What is the purpose of my life? Why am I here? What am I doing? What does this all mean? What does it mean to have more than just success, to perhaps earn a living, have a nice home, have all of these things in your life, even have great health and great friends? But what is that deeper yearning for something that feels a little different in your life experience? That part of you that seems to consistently question or call you to a deeper place. And I was in that, leaving a very successful business, looking for my next chapter. So the podcast was very much a reflection of it. Sitting with people who were also in that conversation, what was their experience, that intersection of success and living with passion? Some of them had found it, some of them were finding it, some of them had it and lost it. And I was looking for that for myself. And I had found it through the work I was doing, through the coaching, through the podcast, through the books, through the blogs, living a life that felt really authentic and amazing. And I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm where I want to be. I'm doing what I want to be doing. This is kind of it, you know? And in that moment of saying like, that's it, I remember listening to Rob Bell, a spiritual teacher, talking, I believe to Oprah, but he said the worst thing I've ever done is say out loud, like, I think I figured it out. Basically, that the universe like kicked his ass after that. And I had the same experience. I was like, I don't know. I think I've kind of figured it out. And the it that I had figured out was staying connected and embodied and in relation to myself, even in really difficult moments, even in those moments where, my life was not where I needed it to be. So I said that. And then the next thing that happened was this spiritual journey kicked up. And by spiritual journey, I very specifically was introduced to the Akashic Record, the energetic space of your soul's history. I walked in one day. I was shown by this woman how she opened up this energetic field for me. And in that moment, she was like able to say things about me that I couldn't articulate about myself. My best friends couldn't have spoken. Um, and they spoke so deeply and profoundly to a truth within me that was unquestionable. And that lit a curiosity that I couldn't not follow. But it also required a complete breakdown, breakthrough, reconnection to everything I had considered, I had figured out in this chapter of understanding authenticity from the lens of philosophy, spirituality, in the way that I was doing it. And so there was nothing wrong with what I was doing, but it was more like the tip of the iceberg is how I thought of it and how I think of it. I had understood, okay, I'm out of my mind. My mind isn't the thing that decides my life. My mind is just another tool that helps me make decisions. It's this wonderful um, um, system. It's an organ that has neural nets, and it thinks really hard, and it helps me evaluate yes, no, truth, plus or minus, like add it to the pro and con list, whatever. But it didn't get me to that decision, that feeling of, oh yeah, no, this is it. This is what I'm looking for. This is true for me in a consistent um, manner. And so I went into the heart, the gut, the part of you that's the knowing part, that after you've evaluated, after you've looked at the world and thought about what it could be, you have to reflect within and ask yourself, is this true for me? Not what culture says, not what family thinks, not what you think you should do, but really what is true for you. And in doing that, I found a great system for myself and I taught that and I'm proud of it. But the Akashic record took me to that deeper place, that deeper knowing, like, oh shit, there's a whole nother layer of this question of me, not just my mind and what it suggests, not just my heart and this part of me that I point to in the center of my ribs of a sense of self, but this other sense of self, the one that is more elusive, eternal, the soul self, the higher self, the whatever you want to think of, the eternal self, the infinite self. And through the Akashic record, I was not only receiving information about myself on a psychological level that was true, a deeply personal level, a profoundly philosophical level, but I was also receiving information on my soul, like who I am in a multi-lifetime perspective. And while it was hard for me to take that part in as somebody who is such a healthy skeptic and grew up without much in the way of organized religion in my life, the systematic, consistent truth that I was experiencing was so profoundly accurate. It opened me up to perhaps the rest of this soul self, the eternal self, could be true as well. And as I went through that process and I um, expanded my idea of what the sense of me is. So there's the mind, there's this, oh, in my chest, this authentic self. Well, what is authentic self other than this energetic self, this endless self? And in that, I went down this multi-year journey in learning through the Akashic records. And then, I don't know, one day I just tried to show a friend and I was like, well, maybe I could do this for fun. And I taught a very good friend of mine how to enter the Akashic records. And I was like, oh shit. Like that worked. I didn't think it would. I didn't know that it would. And I wasn't really motivated or worried about whether it would or not. But when it did, it brought up this second question in me, like, wait, I'm doing this for the curiosity of it all, but I just showed a friend in an hour. So then I started to show more friends and then more friends. And then I taught a community of guys. And I've told the story, but I mean, for some reason, the fact that I was able to teach 40, like just dudes, like your bro dudes, like CrossFit trainers and accountants and investment bankers, and it was part of this community that a friend of mine had created. And he's from the investment banking world, and he was just like, we're going to blow their minds. And he invited me in, and I thought, oh God, I'm going to fail. This is not going to go well. And the opposite happened. All of them accessed this space, and all of them had what they reported to be one of the most profound and meaningful experiences of their life. And I too was in a deeply profound moment, in the realization that shit, like the method I've come up with for myself is translatable to others. It's systematically translatable, and it's eliciting this profound knowing for them of this experience of the endless nature of self. So you don't have to trust it. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to read a book about it. You don't have to believe me. You can try it. And that led me to running these classes because the requests for me to teach people became a bit overwhelming. And I started this class. It was $20. Come join in 90 minutes. I'll show you how to enter the Akashic Record. Again, I didn't think that hard about it, but it started to go out globally, and people from all over the world were coming. And in 90 minutes, I'm not going to make you amazing at it, but I can at least show you it exists. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you've never heard music before and you finally hear somebody touch a keyboard for the first time and they hit that note and you're like, oh, what was that? Oh, I just heard the key of C. It's like, that's music, right? And from there you have to practice, and from there you can get better. And from a period of time after that, you'll learn how to perhaps play Beethoven or something. But the idea is, how do I show people that there's this music in the world? And the music is, there's this whole ecosystem, this energetic space that holds so much information, this authentic self, this experience of purpose, this desire to know ourselves, to know who we are, why we're here, what is the purpose of our life. It is stored in an energetic space, a Google Cloud for the soul. It's available and we can all do it. And not only can we do it, but we are meant to be doing it so that we can experience the totality of the universe as ourself through this physical manifestation of this personality called Laura. So the finite, the singularity of this one person, the endless expression of universe comes through this particular experience. And so you can now have both. You can know yourself as this human, and you can know yourself as this endless spiritual, um, energetic, infinite self. So that is the story. And from there, it just kept going. I taught a level 2 class and a certification, and I went on this podcast and it went bananas. And people were just very taken by this question of like, I'm mystical too. Holy shit. I'm able to access this space. Like I thought that was for special people. I thought that was for people who are higher level, or I didn't know that I believed in this stuff. I've been in the spiritual closet for a long time. All of these things that people go through where they wonder, is it true? Or is it true for me? Or I've been reading about it and I think it's true, but now I get to experience it. Those types were coming from all over the world to these classes, all the way through to this certification. And not only that, technically, but there's a worldview in this. It's a non-judgmental space where there's no getting it wrong. You came up with your soul plan on the other side before you embodied. You had an idea of what you wanted to accomplish in this lifetime, and now you're here. And you get to experience the energetics of you through this worldview that is without judgment. So for humans, for us to have an experience where there's no judgment is healing in of itself. And just to open the records, the energy of it, the experience of it, people, thousands and thousands and thousands of people report the same experience, which is, like I feel better. I feel like I'm freer. I feel more alive. That like something happens to them physically when the energy of these higher frequencies are coming into their body. So why am I back? Why am I doing the podcast? Well, it's to share everything that I've been going through for the last few years. I did the first podcast in the hopes of expressing, growing, and learning with you guys in this first question of how to get out of the mind into this sense of self in my heart, my chest. And now I want to share as I continue in this journey of understanding this endless, vast nature of self as it comes through the physical form, which I believe is meant to be love itself without conditions, without resistance. And how can we experience that, not know it, not read more, not try harder, but to have that physical embodied experience. So I'm going to bring on guests who have experiences in healing and perhaps the healing arts, but also, the same types of guests I've had in the past. And also just taking this conversation that next step further. As I've evolved, I want to take you guys on that journey with me. I've missed sharing. It is, I think, a big reason that I'm here, what brings me joy. So I've been enjoying teaching at the Little Soul School, and I wanted to continue it forward with the Art of Authenticity. I almost started a new podcast, and I thought, well, I should maybe start something new. And I thought, well, no, that's crazy. The Art of Authenticity, it's an art. It's something that's ever evolving to know what it means to be our authentic self, to be authentically connected to oneself is an art form. So why would I need a new podcast? I love this one. I appreciate every single one of you for going down this journey. I've been so grateful to have people in every country listening. So wherever you are, I hope you enjoy this next chapter with me. Love to hear from you. Staff at littlesoul.school is a great way to reach me. I'm going to also answer more questions from the community this time around as well. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, for hearing my story, and for supporting me through this journey. And I look forward to this continued virtual conversation. Okay, all love.